Welcome back, guys, to this course of ISO 45001 Safety Management System. Now we are here to learn about the requirements of Clause 8. This clause has two subclauses. Clause 1 is related to operational planning and control, which is further divided into four subclauses: general requirement, elimination of hazards and reducing risk, management of change, and procurement, while Clause 2 is all about emergency preparation and response. From next videos, we are going to discuss each of them in detail. Welcome back, guys. In this video, we are going to learn in detail about the requirements of clause number 8.1. The ultimate purpose of implementing this standard is to devise processes so as to protect the workers from any sort of harm. This is achieved by identifying the criteria for each process that may include boundaries of each process and how they are going to interact, what resources are needed, methods of controlling unintended events like accidents, how legal requirements are applicable, what controls are implemented to treat risks. Once the criteria for processes is established, the next thing is to treat these risks by using hierarchy of controls as discussed in clause number 6, and make all the risk under alarm, that is, as low as reasonably practicable. If you want to achieve a highly practical risk assessment, I advise you to include workers that are directly related to the inactivity involved. In this way, you will get some insights which would not have been possible without the participation of workers. One very important aspect of this standard is management of change. Change could prove to be the stepping stone of competitive advantage in any business. However, for a change program to be successful, everyone needs to ensure playing their part. Accidents and ill health could occur if a process deviates from the established control measures, like introduction of a new machinery or absence of supervision. The organization must identify and establish a system to tackle such changes without incurring any loss. Let us look into some more examples to understand how this management of change could occur. Management of change could occur in the form of change in leadership, introduction of a new tool, loss of a competent person, supervisor is absent from duty on a particular day, could cause change management. Introduction of a new software is also considered a change management. Mergers and acquisitions, time of crisis, meaning emergency situations. There are various services in an organization which are outsourced to third parties. This may include cleaning services, obtaining raw materials from another provider, getting material safety data sheets, etc. Therefore, it is necessary to have a robust procurement process to control products and services entering into the organization. And this is also a very integral part of safety management system. Effective way to control these inputs is to perform risk assessment. Person responsible for procurements must include competent persons during risk assessment. so as to identify possible hazards during this process. As far as contractors are concerned, the standard requires that the organization to have a competence check on them as well, and that can be done by implementing certain selection criteria for these contractors and subcontractors. It is the responsibility of the organization to protect workers from accidents and ill health, even if they are working as third party contractors. This is also a very important point to remember. The organization can also check different certification of these contractors before procuring them to work with the company. For example, certification to work on electrical installations. The organization also needs to see the activities of contractors during their work that can impact positively or negatively the organization. Once the procurement process is completed, it is good to align the contractors with the objectives of organization to help them understand the importance of compliance to occupational health and safety system and the implications of non-adherence. So welcome guys. In this section, we are going to discuss about clause number 8.2, which is about emergency operation and control. Please recall that we have already identified potential emergency situations in clause 6 under hazard identification. So as per this clause, we need to put appropriate controls to mitigate these potential events. Please also recall that this clause comes under the D part, that is do part of PDCA cycle. So all we are going to do here is implementing important and effective controls. Emergency situations are basically unexpected events, and it is a good practice to prepare for them in advance. So overall, a complete plan is to be formulated and tested as well. Testing emergency plans are essential to check understanding and readiness of workers in case of potential occurrence. For instance, you can perform evacuation drills as what to do in case of a bomb threat or chemical spillage, how to leave, which path to follow, or raising the alarm, etc. So guys, in this section, we discussed about the do part of PDCA cycle, which is about applying operational controls in all the activities that are being performed within an organization. We also discussed about change management and emergency preparedness as well. In the next section, we will move towards the C part of PDCA cycle, which is the check part, and in terms of ISO 45001, it is known as clause number 9, performance evaluation.